She's a pop star, a live stream queen, and an influencer, but did you know that her criminal record might be the biggest soundtrack she has? Let's bring her in front of this court and decide whether Pipp Petals is guilty. Quiet in this court, I know we're trying a princess, but this is serious. This one had aspirations for world domination. Look at this. She's been mind controlling her populace for dozens of years, telling the Pegasi what to believe and what not to believe. It is almost like a little bit of a dictatorship here. You bet you were gonna try and bring justice to the Pegasi by convicting her of aspirations of world domination. However, there's more crimes where that came from. She's also a notorious thief, having stolen both the lantern and the crown of the Pegasus Kingdom. However, we must say that the Pegasus crown is in possession of her family, so we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that she may have had some ownership in that. However, her stealing the lantern in later episodes and intentionally hiding it from her friends is more than enough to convict her of thievery, every pony. Oh boy, this is heating up, people. She, on multiple counts, has also obstructed the law, every pony. If you remember back in episode 1, when Zip was trying to solve the case of bringing magic back, she was the one that told everyone to get inside and sing and dance and ignore the problems. Not only did she interfere with the law at that point, but she also obstructed the public safety, and that is something that this court will not overlook, people! Pipp also has a very notorious record of ignoring safety of others just so she can make a sale. Don't believe me? Look at this. She has sold smelly perfumes that could very well be poisonous just to make a sale, but she's done similar things by selling fake masks, fake glitter, and a lot of other dangerous and fake items just to make money. And that is not only fraud against all of her customers, but also endangering the public just so she could make a little bit of money and fame. Oh, the court will not overlook this, I tell you. But there's one big thing. One thing that we cannot overlook. And that is her addiction to the phone and her taking pictures, making interviews of every pony. I will say that pretty much most of this time, ponies do not consent of being on record all the time. She doesn't ask them. She doesn't care about the public safety. She doesn't care about their rights to privacy. And that's why we must seriously consider arresting and putting Pipp Petals behind bars. That's what I say, ponies. She even went ahead and lied to all the Pegasi that her and her queen were the only ones to fly. All of that just so she can maintain peace. So not only do we have a list of crimes, but she's also manipulative and will do anything that she can to achieve her goals. If that doesn't speak ruthless criminal, nothing does. Alright, ponies, let's go on to the motive and see if Pipp Petals really has a criminal mindset or if she has some noble goals. Or if there's some evil intent to be had here after all. While Pipp Petals on the surface tries to make everyone happy, tries to get everyone to be excited, it does not matter to her if she can make a little bit more fame, a little bit more money, a little bit more time in the spotlight. She will do whatever it takes. She will endanger her friends, she will endanger her public, she will endanger all of the Pegasi race and tell them that they can fly, which is pretty dangerous, by the way. There's a good chance that some young foal grew up and was like, hey, I want to be like these royals and want to fly like them, and tried it, and that may have ended pretty poorly for these young ponies. So I hope the jury understands the criminal energy that comes from this princess. Let's hear the final verdict on all these accusations, and of course, the jury will also get to decide the sentence of this hardened criminal as the court believes it to be. On all counts of aspirations for world domination, we must without question find Pipp Petals guilty. If it wasn't for Sunny Star Scout bringing back harmony and peace, she would still be doing it. She would still be mind controlling all the Pegasi. Then, on the count of thievery, we must have to give her some leniency. Although she did steal the Pegasus crown, it was ultimately the possession of her family, and on the counts of the lantern, she would ultimately be returning it. That is still thievery, but it is not larceny, so we're gonna give her a little bit of slack on that one. On obstruction of the law, it is without question that she's done this multiple times and still continues to do so. if it means that she can make some sales. And for that, without question, she is guilty of obstructing the law. And endangering the public also is highly, highly certain that the court will find her guilty because of all the things that she has done to ponies, making them take smelly perfumes just so she can have a little bit more fame and fortune. Pretended to sell some things that weren't real, the list goes on, so without question is she guilty of fraud. Silence in the back, I hear you, Pipp fans. And on the count of recording people without consent, it is without question she's still doing this, so she's guilty of that one as well. Alright, ponies. But with that, it is on to the jury to decide the sentence of this criminal. Will Pipp Petals go behind bars, or is she gonna walk away free because of her fans? Let's find out. We have this interesting jury, so let's see what they have to say. With many of her fans being fooled by the pony that they praise, with many ponies having been betrayed by her specifically, the jury is very inclined to give her a harsh sentence. However, we cannot ignore the fact that Pipp Petals has improved over the time that she has spent in Maritime Bay. She has grown closer to the ponies that she's been around, and she's gained an understanding as who they are. However, we cannot ignore the crimes that she has committed in the past, and the public deserves justice. So, the jury finds Pipp Petals guilty. The jury finds the defendant guilty of the crimes that we've seen here, and therefore sentences Pipp Petals to 3 months in prison in this prison cell without any phone, every pony. Silence! I know you Pipp fans mind this, but she has done horrible things to the people, and so she will be punished accordingly. And this concludes this trial. Wait, you're telling me she has a sister that may have also done criminal things? Oh, you know who's getting the next, ponies. On a serious note, if you like the silly shenanigans, then do hit the subscribe button, and we're gonna try Zip next. Or if you have another pony that you think we should put onto court, do tell us, every pony. Maybe we're gonna even do Izzy someday. Oh boy, but that's gonna be interesting. Anyway, ponies, with that, I thank all you lovely ponies so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, and remember, ponies, don't commit crimes or I'll fine you.